Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United fans protest against the Glazers at Carrington. Our fans have blocked entries into the Carrington training ground. The banners said 51%, MUFC 20 and the Glazers out. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spoken about it. Did he defend the Glazers? Now, the Glazers have been at Manchester United for like 16 years. So they've been with us since 2005. There's been reports saying that, will the Glazers sell Manchester United? I hate the way the football club has been run. Now, the Glazers recently said sorry, like I updated you yesterday. Joel Glazer released a statement and apologised to Manchester United fans over the European Super League plan. But sorry isn't good enough. In my opinion, these club owners should be punished. They should get some kind of fine. A lot of owners have apologised. Liverpool's owners come out and apologised as well. You obviously know the news on Ed Woodward. It was announced a couple of days ago that Ed Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. He said he will stand down at the end of 2021, but now it's saying that Ed Woodward is expected to leave Man United in the summer rather than the end of the year. Woodward has had a 16-year association with Manchester United. All United fans will be delighted that Woodward has resigned, because we've been critical of Ed Woodward for a long time. The main explanations is because Woodward hasn't backed any of the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired. Our recruitment has been very, very poor, and we've overpaid for players. Woodward has come out several times to show his support for Ole, even when we was enduring them really, really bad periods. He did say towards the end of last year that he will back Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. And Woodward did say earlier on this season that I believe Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. And Woodward released a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. Now, it's recently said that there's 5 candidates that we're looking at who could replace Ed Woodward. Now, Edwin van der Sar is the favourite to replace Ed Woodward at Manchester United. I think if we recommended Edwin van der Sar in, it would be the right decision by the club. Main explanations is because Edwin van der Sar knows the club through thick and thin. He endured 6 years at Manchester United. He was obviously a goalkeeper. He was with us from 2005 to 2011. And what? Alright. And Edwin van der Sar has got the experience. He's currently the CEO at Ajax and he's done very, very well at Ajax. Don't forget Edwin van der Sar was linked with a technical director's role at Manchester United. I'm very, very delighted that this European Super League has not gone ahead. Everybody was against it. except the owners. The owners are the only ones that wanted it to go ahead so they could generate more money. Now, it confirmed recently that Manchester United withdrew from the European Super League. All 6 English clubs withdrew from the Super League, and I think all the foreign clubs did as well. Gary Neville had a lot to say on it. He recently called for the Glazer family to sell Manchester United and leave the country. He said they are scavengers. Got to totally agree with him on that aspect. Neville was fuming over this European Super League, but he did say he was convinced that it wasn't going to go through, not a chance. Not so long ago, Gary Neville had a heated argument with Jurgen Klopp over the European Super League debate. Gary Neville was actually critical of Liverpool's anthem, "You'll Never Walk Alone." Obviously, Jurgen Klopp reacted to that, but Gary Neville apologised to Jurgen Klopp. Marcus Rashford, not so long ago, he hit out at the European Super League. This is before, obviously, we withdrew. And Rashford put a post on. It was a banner, and it said, "Football is nothing without fans." And underneath, it said, "Sir Matt Busby." Luke Shaw has spoken about it. Bruno Fernandes gave his perception on it, and not so long ago, Harry Maguire confronted Ed Woodward in a meeting after our players were left in the dark over the European Super League. You know, if it had gone ahead, there was actually talks of Man United not being in the Premier League. Certainly the Champions League would have been scrapped as well if it had have gone ahead. So yeah. Now, you obviously know the news on the transfers. There's a lot of players that Manchester United are looking at. Now, you already know the news on Rafael Varane from Real Madrid. Now, it's come out and said that some clubs are willing to wait until next year to sign Rafael Varane, because next year Rafael Varane is available on a 3. Now, not so long ago, it said that Man United faced competition for Rafael Varane, because Bill's Christian Falk said that Chelsea entered the race for him, so reflecting on that, Chelsea are looking to hijack our move. Reports from Spain said not so long ago that Man United were in advanced talks with Rafael Varane. And it said Rafael Varane to Man United was close. Now, it said Real Madrid's asking price is £60 million. We hope to lower Real Madrid's £60 million asking price. Rafael Varane is ready to leave Real Madrid in the summer transfer window, and it did mention that we are preparing a transfer bid. Rafael Varane's contract talks with Real Madrid have stalled. He's got just over a year left on his current contract. Now, Eduardo Inda, the Spanish transfer expert, he said earlier on this season that Rafael Varane could be on his way to Man United in the summer. There was narratives coming out earlier on this season saying that Real Madrid are prepared to sell Rafael Varane on one condition: he must inform Real Madrid on his decision to leave. Back in 2018, we was prepared to sanction a £100 million move. But the main explanations I'd take Varane at Man United is because he's a world-class centre-half, he's highly experienced, he's 27 years of age. He'd complement Harry Maguire in our back line, and he'd exceed expectations if he comes to the Premier League. Rafael Varane has got a good pedigree behind him as a player. He's won 18 major honours and he's made over 300 appearances. He's been at Real Madrid like 10 years now. Real Madrid paid just €10 million for him from Lens back in 2011. But there's been quite a few centre-halves on our agenda. It said the other week that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. You know the news on Declan Rice from West Ham? Apparently Declan Rice has been advised to join Manchester United. I haven't read fully into that article though, but it said not so long ago that Rice was actually interested in joining Man United, and he asked Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw about life at Old Trafford. He says West Ham are demanding £100 million. I'm very, very sceptical would pay that. I think £100 million is too much for Rice anyway. Rice is a good player, being worth 100 million. I reckon he's worth from between 60 to 70 million. 70 million at a push, definitely. It said Solskjaer agreed with our recruitment team earlier on this season that Declan Rice would be the perfect signing for the club. The main explanations I'd take him at Man United is because he's well proven in the Premier League, still young, got a lot of development in him, and he's predominantly a holding midfielder, and Man United are in search for a holding midfielder. But Declan Rice can also be deployed as a centre-half. Rice has been at West Ham for like 7 years. He's got a contract with them until 2024. More narratives have come out about Erling Haaland recently. Now, Borussia Dortmund sporting director Michael Zorg has come out and said that he's adamant that Erling Haaland will be at Dortmund next season. So reflects on that, won't be leaving Dortmund this summer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has already warned Man United about the Erling Haaland transfer. Now, Erling Haaland leaving Borussia Dortmund, it looks extremely likely following Dortmund's exit to Man City in the Champions League. Said the other week that Man United were relying on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's close bond with Haaland to try and secure the signing of the player. Now, The Athletic said not so long ago that Dortmund are demanding 150 million. But The Athletic did say that we are one of the clubs that can afford him. The Express said a few weeks ago that Man United are worried over the Erling Haaland transfer pursuit because of Sancho. Mino Raiola apparently wants to make Erling Haaland the first £1 million a week player. He said Erling Haaland to Man United was off following Mino Raiola's roadshow. Earlier on this season, Mino Raiola and Alf Hinch Haaland, who's Erling Haaland's father, they went to England for talks with several Premier League clubs. They also held talks with Barcelona and Real Madrid, and it did mention that we declined to meet Erling Haaland's agent Mino Raiola over discussing a possible deal for Haaland. I'd certainly take him at Man United. Main explanations is because Solskjaer knows the player well. Solskjaer gave him his debut at just the age of 16 at Molde, so it'd be good to see Ole reunite with the player. He's still young, he's got a lot of development in him, and he would assure us goals. Earlier on this season, it said that Solskjaer kept calling Haaland to persuade him to join Man United. And it said he was following his progress and keeping in touch with the player. Solskjaer did reveal, don't forget how impressed he was with Erling Haaland's training at Molde, but he made an admission saying that he struggled with bad knees at Molde. Back in December 2019, don't forget Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. Erling Haaland has a £68 million release clause but doesn't become active until next year. Haaland's got a contract with Dortmund till 2024, and Dortmund got him for next to nothing. They just paid like £17 million for him from Red Bull Salzburg. Been looking at some strikers, haven't we? You know the news on Harry Kane from Tottenham. I'd said I'd take Dominic Calvert-Lewin at Man United because he's a good striker and his performances for Everton have been very, very good. In the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings. The summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Manchester United manager. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be, and for Manchester United in general. I've identified the areas where we need to strengthen up. We need a striker, we need a right winger, we need a defensive midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. But in the summer transfer window, I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings. Reports came out earlier on this season saying that Man United will spend big, but Solskjaer did mention that we want to keep transfer dealings quiet. Don't forget, Ollie warned earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual due to the pandemic. But he said he's interested in bringing in players that'll be a perfect fit for the club. Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window, because obviously we've got John Murtough. He's our director of football. And it was the right decision by the club getting a director of footballing, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes that we needed. And we've got Darren Fletcher. He's our technical director. I can assure Solskjaer will be Man United manager in the summer transfer window, and he'll be Man United manager next season, because it has been made clear that Solskjaer will not be sacked even if we fail to win the Europa League. The Europa League is our only chance of winning any silverware this season, and Solskjaer knows how imperative the Europa League is. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. So if we fail to win the Europa League this season, that'd be exactly 4 years without a trophy for Man United. That's bad. But we are into the Europa League semi-finals. It's 5 semi-finals in total under Solskjaer. Got a very good chance of winning it, but we are aware that Roma is going to be a difficult game. Solskjaer recently spoke about Man United facing Roma, and he said that Edin Dzeko will pose the biggest threat to Manchester United, and I want Solskjaer to get to his first major final. Not yet got to a major final as Man United manager. I can assure we'll finish in the top 4 in the Premier League this season. We're probably going to finish second. City are going to win the league now. They're 11 points in front. They beat Villa yesterday 2-1. But Solskjaer did say not so long ago that we'll never ever give up on the Premier League title. But like I've said in regards to Solskjaer, he does deserve at least another season at the club because progress has been made. But I'll stick to what I've said. I don't think he's the long-term manager for Manchester United. Our board think he's a long-term manager, and this is why it said earlier on this season that Solskjaer agreed a 3-year contract worth 30 million. I think Solskjaer's still got 1 year left on his current 3-year contract. But I think Solskjaer is our best manager since Ferguson. He's our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. He's been Manchester United manager now over 2 years. Reflecting now on he's been at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience. He's learned quite a bit on the job. He's tried a few different elements such as different formations. He's rotated the squad a lot. And this is his second full season. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. The club gave him the job permanently 2 years ago, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager in that 3-month period. Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. When Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, he assured that everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players, and everybody has been given their chances, more or less. And like I said to you, I do have my concerns about Ole, but there's also quite a lot of positives regarding Ole. You know, he has made good signings as Manchester United manager. You know, he has spent almost £300 million. He obviously hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in as yet, and in that aspect, the blame stems from the board. You know, Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. You know, he's done well in quite a few aspects this season. You know, he's got us to the Europa League semi-final, got us to the FA Cup quarter-final, got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. Got a fantastic away record in the Premier League. We are unbeaten in our last 23 Premier League away games, so we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. We've enjoyed good periods under Ollie where we have seen consistency, and in some of them good periods he's got the best out of the team. You know, Ollie did well last season, didn't he? Which was his first full season. Got us qualification for the Champions League, got us a third place finish and guided us to 3 semi-finals. You know, I like the way Solskjaer's promoted the youth. And he has beaten some big name managers, so they are the positives regarding Ole. I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot because he is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Manchester United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. Obviously, a lot of Man United fans have been demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. Obviously, they've got main explanations why they've been demanding him out. But I presume there's a lot of United fans that are Ole in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. You know, in the last 8 years, nothing's really changed at Manchester United. You know, we have been playing catch-up. We've had different managers with different philosophies. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson. That was David Moyes, who sacked him after 10 months. Sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. Like I mentioned, we've overpaid for players in recent years. We've spent over £1 billion on players in the last 8 years. And we've brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. And we've made mistakes in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. And we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years ago now. So there you go. And like I've said to you before, Solskjaer is inheriting players from other managerial eras. Check my battery life. Like I've said, we are going to offload quite a few players in the summer transfer window. Looks like Edinson Cavani is going to be leaving the club. I presume a lot of United fans will be disappointed by it, and so too will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we do want Edinson Cavani to stay for next season. It recently said that Edinson Cavani had made his transfer decision. According to multiple reports from South America, Cavani's informed Man United that he will be leaving at the end of the season. And it looks very, very imminent that he's going to be going to Boca Juniors. It's a shame though, because he has made an impact since he's come in. He really has. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial in the summer transfer window because he's been out of form for the vast majority of this season. Juan Mata, I think we also need to offload him because he doesn't get in our 11. I think we should offload Donny van der Beek. The main explanation is because he's not getting enough opportunities at Manchester United. You know, there has been talks of a Donny van de Beek and Adrian Rabiot swap deal. I think we also need to offload Matic because he's more or less always been inconsistent, and I've always had my strong reservations about him because he's always been a slow player as Matic. The club made a mistake by giving him that new 3-year contract before the start of this season. Jones, I also want him to leave as well. Delors, I think we'll be looking to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan at AC Milan at the moment. I'm expecting Romero to go. And I think Man United could sell David De Gea. But there's quite a lot of United fans that think it would be a mistake to let David De Gea go. Tellez could go in the summer transfer window. There has been talks of a swap deal, hasn't there? And Tellez has played nowhere near as much as I expected. Paul Pogba, he could still leave Man United in the summer transfer window, but I don't want him to. I want Paul Pogba to stay potentially past the summer. But there's a lot of players that will stay at Man United in the summer transfer window, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. And yes, I was supposed to be doing Man United Leeds preview on this video, but I can assure I'll be definitely doing it on my next video. Obviously, with the news breaking out regarding the fans protesting the Glazers, I just wanted to do this before I did the Man United Leeds preview. So anyway guys, join me later on for the Man United Leeds preview. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. I'll see you all again very, very soon.